that we're exporting our products and not our jobs. But that's not the reality for a majority of Americans. For too many American workers and small businesses, the rules are rigged against them, and that has to change. Many people are working harder and longer than ever, but their jobs pay less in a race down to the lowest wage in another part of the world. Our workers deserve a race up to good wages that allow you to raise your family and have a good life. And that's why we're here today, offering a better deal on trade and jobs. In Michigan, I know that our workers, our small businesses, manufacturers, farmers can compete with anybody in the world if we've got a level playing field. And that means creating a trade prosecutor who will be laser focused on going after countries like China that manipulate their currency, which has cost us 5 million jobs, steal our technology, and cheat with unfair trade practices. It means passing our Bring Jobs Home Act to close the loopholes that actually incentivize companies for taking jobs overseas. American families deserve a better deal, and that's what we are committed to make happen. Senator Joe Manchin from the great state of West Virginia.
Thanks, Debbie. Let me say very quickly that anyone that believes that free trade is fair trade, come to West Virginia. See what happens to our manufacturing jobs, whether it be in the coal industry, steel industry, whether it's in the chemical industry, whatever it may be. We lost big time. And now to have countries with their manipulation, if you will, and also on top of that, I'm very much concerned about us not even having any rare earth minerals in our country that we even mine anymore, that we do anything to basically protect the national interests of our country and for security of our country. These are the things we're fighting for. We want to bring them to the forefront. It's far too long when you're letting different corporations from different countries that basically are working towards our financial markets, buying our financial markets. I think it's detrimental to the security of our nation and the well-being of this nation. So we're going to fight hard. West Virginia has taken a hit, but we're fighting back. We're not giving up, and we need not only free trade, but most importantly, fair trade, and that's what we don't have with these deals. So we're going to work hard. With that, it's my great opportunity to introduce my dear friend, a guy that works every day for the jobs of people in Indiana, not only to keep their job, but fight and bring new jobs to Indiana, my dear friend Joe Donnelly.
Thank you.
Joe?
Thank you. We want to make sure that the rules of this country stand up for American workers. My End Outsourcing Act, what it does is it makes it so that if you want a federal contract, that you are going to be determined whether or not you have outsourced jobs. And if you have, that when everything else is looked at in the contract, if everything else is the same, the company who has kept jobs here in America is the company that gets the contract. On top of that, what it also does is it changes tax laws, so there's no benefit to moving jobs somewhere else. There's no tax benefits, there's no moving costs included, and it also includes tax benefits if you're bringing jobs back to the United States. These are simple things that can do to stand up for our workers. In my state, we have 300 carrier workers who just lost their jobs. There's more who are going to lose their jobs at Christmas. We need to stand up for those families and for others around the country to make sure we're fighting to keep jobs here in America. And it's my privilege to introduce someone who fights every day in the Badger State for jobs there. She's a great colleague, and she's a straight shooter, Senator Tammy Baldwin.
So Wisconsin families depend on our manufacturing jobs, and I believe that if we give our workers and manufacturers a level playing field, we will compete and win. To level the playing field, Democrats are proposing a better deal that prevents trade deals from hurting our workers. It takes on China's cheating, and it puts an end to rewarding companies with tax cuts for shipping jobs and factories overseas. We would also put in place stronger Buy America requirements for all taxpayer-funded projects. I've written Buy America legislation because I strongly believe American workers should build our infrastructure with American products and taxpayers' money should not be spent on iron and steel from foreign countries like China and Russia. My Buy America reform passed the Senate last year with strong bipartisan support, but when it got to the House, foreign steel companies bought Washington lobbyists to kill it. Speaker Ryan and Majority Leader McConnell gave them what they wanted, and American workers were left behind again. In April, President Trump came to Wisconsin and announced his support for My Buy America legislation. But congressional Republican leadership continues to stand in the way. America and their workers deserve a solid commitment from us on a strong Buy America standard that rewards their hard work. It's time Washington put American manufacturers and steel workers first, ahead of powerful special interests. Our better deal will close loopholes that provide foreign producers access to large sums of your taxpayer dollars. The bottom line is this: Democrats and Republicans agree that we need a major investment to rebuild our roads, bridges, and water infrastructure. We need Republicans to stand with us and with our manufacturers and with American workers. Let's get the job done on strong Buy America reforms so that we can put people to work rebuilding our infrastructure with the words, "Made in America." Yeah. It's my pleasure to now introduce my colleague and friend from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Senator Bob Casey.
Thanks, Tammy. Thanks very much. A better deal for America starts with a lot of what my colleagues have reviewed today, and one of those priorities that we have to focus on is renegotiating NAFTA, but seriously renegotiating NAFTA, not just some kind of a rewrite of TPP. We need a serious effort. I think most people out there who look at what's happened on with regard to trade deals over time feel like they're left out. Workers are left out of the negotiation room. Working families who don't have a voice in that room need to be included. So we believe that the administration should negotiate in an open and transparent manner, that the public should be regularly given detailed information about the negotiations so they know what is at stake at every step of the negotiations. The United States Trade Representative staff should hold town hall meetings open to the public in at least 10 different states to discuss specific NAFTA priorities before any draft text can be finalized. The American people in Congress must know what the administration seeks to achieve in the agreement before and throughout the negotiations. So that's critical. That process is critical. In addition to that, of course, when we talk about NAFTA, we've got to make sure, as my colleague Senator Baldwin said, that we have strong Buy America standards and that we also have strong enforceable labor standards and wage standards, in addition to environmental standards and so many others that seem to be left out of too many negotiations. Second, with regard to China, we know in Pennsylvania all too well that when China cheats, Pennsylvania loses lots of jobs. That's been happening for far too long. When countries cheat, whether it's China or any other, we have to make sure that we go after them with everything that we have. Number one, we should make sure that the administration will insist on quick and definitive action on behalf of steel and aluminum producers to make sure that they have a level playing field. And finally, we need to hold companies accountable when they ship jobs overseas. When you ship jobs overseas, there should be a consequence when you seek a federal contract. When companies outsource jobs, they should pay a tax for moving those jobs overseas. When a company does the right thing and brings jobs back here in the United States, they should get a tax incentive. So whether it's cracking down on this issue, cracking down on China cheating, or renegotiating NAFTA, we have a long way to go to make sure that we're doing everything we can here in the Congress in a bipartisan fashion, and the administration needs to be consistent with what the President said when he was campaigning to make sure that we renegotiate NAFTA in a serious way. So it's my pleasure to introduce the Democratic leader, someone who fights for jobs every day on behalf of the people of New York, but also on behalf of our country, Senator Chuck Schumer.
Thank you, Bobby. Well, thank you and my colleagues for their great work. Every one of these people who you've heard speak puts American workers first. American workers first. Now, last week in Berryville, we Democrats began to offer a better deal to the American people. The better deal promises three things. First, higher wages and better jobs. Second, lower everyday expenses. Third, the tools workers need to succeed in the 21st century. Now, nothing is more central to creating jobs and increasing take-home pay than rewriting our backward trade laws that have put foreign workers ahead of American workers, that have put big multinational corporations ahead of the needs of hardworking, average American families. For far too long, our trade laws have given multinational corporations and foreign competitors a leg up on the American worker. They put the corporate bottom line ahead of the worker's bottom line. Today, we Democrats are proposing a better deal for workers with tough trade laws that finally put American workers first. In addition to the ideas my colleagues have laid out, today we're also calling for the creation of an American Job Security Council. Right now, foreign countries buy up the best of American companies, but they have to get approval from something called CFIUS. That's the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States. CFIUS has to certify that the proposed deal doesn't harm our national security. But no one ever checks if it hurts our economic security, the jobs and incomes that workers need. That's where the American Job Security Council comes in. The panel of economic experts would be empowered to block foreign companies if their attempt to buy an American company would hurt American workers, potentially leading to the theft of American intellectual property or otherwise distort our markets. Simply put, this council has the power to slam the door shut on foreign companies who want to buy up American businesses and harm our workers. China has made a profession of doing this. We're not going to let them do it anymore. We're not opposed to foreign investment, but we're opposed to foreign investment that only benefits the bottom line and leaves workers out in the cold. We're opposed to foreign investment when certain countries like China do not allow reciprocal access to American companies in their country. We know China's trying to buy up and dominate the critical industries where America has been dominant, from semiconductors to robotics to steel. We need to revamp our trade laws from top to bottom and provide a better deal for American workers. We have a tough 7-point plan, as you've heard, an independent trade prosecutor to go after companies that are not fair and are outsourcing jobs overseas to countries that are coming in like China and being unfair to Americans. The Job Security Council, which I mentioned, NAFTA, making it really work for people instead of working for companies and outsourcing jobs. Penalties for contractors that outsource jobs. Buy America provisions. Crack down on companies that manipulate their currency, and outsourcing tax for companies leaving the U.S. We do these 7 things, it's a new day for American workers. Their incomes will go up. The number of good-paying jobs will go up. And we're going to do it under a better deal because we want a better deal for American workers. Ready for your questions? Yes. We will move this forward on different proposals. There are going to be all kinds of bills in September that need to pass, and we're going to offer these, and we hope our Republican colleagues will join us. Some of our Republican colleagues have understood these issues. We want this to be bipartisan because our job is to protect American workers. Yes?
The tax proposals, the tax incentives, the tax penalties, do you see that as something that you would put on the table
Absolutely. Yes.
Senator Donnelly talked about the new outsourcing act in your remarks. You didn't sign the letter with other Senate Democrats on principles for tax reform. Why didn't you sign it? Was it something you didn't agree with?
No, what we wanted to do in my office was put our own letter forward with our own concepts of it. And so that's what we were doing.
Thank you. Next question. Yes.
So you said on the Senate floor today that a lot of this stuff, on paper at least, is similar to what President Trump is talking about. Any concern that a big chunk of your base who wants Democrats to resist on all fronts, this squares?
We look at things on the merits. And the problem is President Trump has talked a good game and done virtually nothing on trade but study it. He even backed off on steel and aluminum, something very important to her state, his state, her state, his state, and my state. So we need action. And if President Trump wants to work with us to get these things done, good, because we need a better deal for American workers, period. Yes.
You mentioned sickness, and certainly this new council would mirror some of your social leases. Are there any specific transactions that have either been approved by CFIUS or that are pending that have prompted your concern?
Lots of them. China is trying to buy up our best robotics companies, our best American intelligence companies, Hollywood. We export a whole lot of movies. It employs hundreds of thousands, millions of people in good-paying jobs, union jobs mostly. And China is buying up, Chinese companies, with the aid of their government, is buying up Hollywood production. Do you know how many American films are allowed to be shown in China every year? 24. But it's all over. All over. And we got to stop it. Or what happened with clothing and furniture and toys will happen with our best industries. They're rapacious, the Chinese. They do not play by the rules. And we sit there. My father-in-law was a New York City cab driver. He said, sometimes Uncle Sam is Uncle Sap. When it comes to trade, that's what's happened. No longer with the better deal for American workers. Okay, thank you, everybody. Okay. Yeah, I'll put out a statement on that. Well, the bottom line is to cut immigration by 500,000 people, legal immigration, doesn't make much sense. Okay, everyone's, this is different than illegal immigration. This creates jobs in America. It helps America, and we think it's a non-starter. They're studying the issue. We'll have another study for 6 months, and then nothing will happen. We need action now.
Your U.S. free trade agreement partners get a waiver from Buy American? Is that one of the loopholes you're looking to close?
Yeah, we want Tammy's bill, which she left, but which Donald Trump in Wisconsin said he'd support, is tough as nails. That's what we want on Buy America. Thank you.